Okay, in this video we're going to look at the lease of an asset and the required journals and transactions need to be done. So the company for example, company enters into a new lease on November 1st, 2012, purchased new office equipment at a cost of 12,480, interest of 1,920 in total will be charged over 4 years. In VAT implications, you're required to capitalise the new lease asset and show these lease liability date of acquisition. Calculate setup and propose a recurring cash payment for monthly KISSA payments starting November 1st, 2012. Process monthly. Calculate setup and post recurring monthly journals to change lease interest to profit and loss account in the same date as above. So 3 marks, 3 marks, 3 marks now. It's important though to note that in the question, it requires you that you use your student number as the transaction and you set up any nominal codes done. So the first off we get here regarding is the capitalization of the lease is actually going to be done by a journal, and that journal is going to be debit the asset in question. In this case, office equipment with the original cost of the asset is 12,480. Next one, we debit a new account called lease interest suspense with the interest charge. In this case is 1920. And finally we credit lease liability with the total amount, and that total amount is going to be 12,480 plus 1920, which is 14,400. So in doing that, bring a Sage, modules, Naval Ledger, journal, okay, and you put your exam number as the reference. The date will be the date of transactions for 1st of November 1/11/12. Okay, and first off regarding your assets, and you can find the regarding, so this is office equipment, and I guess you have here guess lease assets 12,480. Next one, let's turn around because I'm going to change the journal slightly, and you're going to put in the lease assets, which is 23. So if you look, if you look, the turn on doors, guess a 2 is there. I look at 3, guess turn up. So I need to put in regarding a new one. So let's turn around because I put in 2 3 3 1. That's a new count. Lease liability. Save. Enter. Office equipment. Now put in your total as I said, which is because we learned from our calculation beforehand, 14,400. 14,400. The balancing figure now is going to be your leases and rentals, and I will put that in case a new account just alongside the lease. Save. Okay. Office equipment. And you put in because your balance figure, which is 1920, and save. Okay, now that gives you the first part. The second part of the question requires you to calculate and set up because of the recurring transactions, because in the past this is bank payment. So the 14,400 is because your bank balance, okay, and divide that by the number of months the payment is there. In this question we're told it's over 4 years, so divide by 48 equals 300 euros per month. So now, modules, bank, recurring transaction, add, okay, and select it from bank account because you're paying it to the current account, select it to the loan account that's going out, so 2, and you guess it's one you just set up, loan, the lease liability, not the lease interest suspense. It's a bank cash credit card payment transaction, lease interest, lease payment, department on once, change days now to months, change details to 48, and change your date in case of the first date of payment. So let's say 01/11/12. Now you put your figure in regarding case what's it, which we have turned around, remember, calculated, it's been 300 euros a month. Change the VAT, because you're told in the question to ignore the VAT to T9, and said OK. Now in doing this, I was very careful to note you've actually just put it up, you have not made any postings, and I would suggest you to do all the recurring journals and then put in recurring transactions. Now recurring bank transactions is done in the exact same place. Recurring journals to regards case of interest or whatever, so next one, add. Now for this one, change the details here to a journal debit, and for nominal ledger case account, case you're going to be looking at, is you're going to be looking case what's it for any bank interest or some other case of charges. So bank interest paid, or you could set a higher purchase interest, or you could turn around and set up a new account if you wanted to. So 790 bank interest, lease interest, okay, once, month, okay, same story again, your payments, 48 is going to be across the years, same story as regards your case of turns, 11/12, your date case of transaction. Now in this case, going back to your journal, you turn around case what says the interest that's been wrote off. So 1920 is the total interest cost lifetime divided by 48 will give you 40 euros per month is going to be written off. Turn goes back, recurring journals, and your amount is 40, and it is T9. Now click OK, and you have that as item because it's saved. But as I said, this is just a journal debit. I now must do the journal credit. So add again, and similarly now change it to journal credit, and this time you're going to take it out of the account from which you have posted the lease interest suspense. So the lease interest suspense that you set up, you're now going to write it out. Details, lease interest charged. 1 month, starting the 1st 11th 12, total amount of repayment 48, and again it's 40 euros turn. I'll click OK. Now all these details that turn around because they have been put in now usually case question you're asked to print this report, so we'll hit print list and save it accordingly to wherever case what it needs to go. Right? Okay, if the printer is not right, select printer and pick which printer case it's going to. That's that. Now you need to actually process these, so you need to turn around and do regarding case of to hit this icon here, process. Now it will read the date that's currently on your calendar, so today's date, so you need to ensure to change that to 31/11/12. okay, so 30th of the 11th 12. Okay, so you have all your details what's turned out. Now you see you've only have your 3 months, you can now hit post. Okay, you see now you've posted, you have 1 post made, you have 47 left with it, and that is all that is involved in actually posting this transaction.